Hey everybody, it's Quicken and welcome back to another episode of Tattoo Talk Tuesday. If it is your first time joining us, Tattoo Talk Tuesday is our weekly interactive tattoo talk show where I take users' submitted questions and I try to lend my experience to you guys as a tattoo collector. Last week I promised I would do an episode all about traveling tattoo artists. If you caught last week's episode, I showed you guys the new tattoo I got by Jessie Preston. You can check out last week's video where I try out the cognac sponge, the correct pronunciation. Ethan. So I get a lot of questions about making appointments with traveling tattoo artists, and although I feel like I've made episodes about how to make an appointment with a tattoo artist and what to pack if you're traveling to see a tattoo artist from far away, I have a video all about what I keep in my travel tattoo bag. You can check that out. I have not really addressed the complete topic on how to make an appointment with traveling tattoo artists, what the benefits are, or even some people have never even heard of that. Some people get tattooed in their town, in their city, and then that's that. I made some notes, and if my cat gets away from us, we can... Great, now I'm bleeding, thanks. This is how I have to film my videos now, I guess, with that. I do want to say that this is not a video about traveling to get your tattoos. It's more a video about finding tattoo artists who travel. And you may need to travel to them again, but it's a little different because I do get questions about both. And if you have a question that I do not answer in this video, definitely leave that down below. But I think there are parallels to this topic that are the same or covered in other questions too, so I'm just gonna try to answer all of them. Don't worry, I see your questions, and sometimes I try to answer more than one with more of an umbrella topic. So first, how do you find traveling tattoo artists? How did I find Jessie Preston, Max Kuhn, these different artists that I get tattooed by who are not from here and who aren't super easy to find? I think a lot of the ways that I find tattoo artists I really like is through Instagram. And it used to be through Tumblr. Tumblr is definitely how I found Max. And other than that, it can be word of mouth. I found Jessie Preston just because I started following a tattoo shop that had opened in my neighborhood, and she was doing a guest spot at that tattoo shop. So I found all of her stuff, looked through it, and I was like, yes, I love her. She's from Montreal. This is my only chance. Follow some of your local tattoo shops because they are going to post about tattoo artists who are doing guest spots at their shops. And definitely follow your favorite tattoo artists. Even if your favorite tattoo artist is from Brisbane, I think it's still worth it to follow them just in case there's the off chance that they're visiting their auntie in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and somehow you could get a shot with getting a tattoo by them. That's definitely what I do. I followed Jess and she posted this really quickly. I only had a few days to make a concrete decision on getting a tattoo by her, but because I know I love her work and I love everything she does, I emailed her as fast as possible and I was like, let me just get a spot before I even know what I'm going to do. That's my best advice. If you have some of these tattoo artists on your back burner in the back of your mind, I would say think of a tattoo you would love to have by them, keep that spot available, and be patient. If they tend to travel a couple times a year, like Jessie and Max, I think it's a little easier to kind of hold off and wait for them to come. And then when they do, here is the next question. It's how to get appointments with traveling tattoo artists. I think a lot of times tattoo artists are going to tell you how they like to be approached, especially because if they've been around long enough and they've interacted with the whole new social media aspect of getting in touch with everybody, I think your tattoo artist is going to tell you exactly how they want to be approached. Sometimes tattoo artists say, hey, I had a cancellation for this date, you can DM me. But you might not always be able to direct message them the rest of the year. They might not like it. So I would always say, if they post something and they're reaching out to you, read the fine text, see how they want to be interacted with, and kind of dive in and go for it. Jessie has an email that she has, and that's her work email. You email her. Most of the times she'll post something that's like, email me about your budget, your size of tattoo, what you're interested, any reference photos. I definitely see stuff like that. If you follow Alex Strangler on Instagram, she usually uses language like that, like tell me your budget, what pictures, if you have any pictures or reference, email those to me too, and what kind of spot, things like that. A lot of tattoo artists will tell you point blank what they want to hear and what they want sent to them. It doesn't have to be super stringent. Like, I have a video all about how to make an appointment with tattoo artists, and in there I really go through like what kind of email I send to tattoo artists. Definitely check that video out. It has a really stupid thumbnail, but the information is good, trust me. Most of the times tattoo artists will put out what they want to do and what they want to hear and the best way to respond to them. Some tattoo artists, you know, work more independently. You might find their postings on Tumblr, which I feel like you really have to be on top of. It's not going to scream in your face like Instagram. Or you can have a tattoo artist like Max who has a mailing list, like an emailing list, and he'll tell you different times he's in different cities, maybe 6 months in advance, and you can grab appointments when he comes through your city. I like that too. I definitely do. I have no preference. As long as I can get in there and see the people I love, that's all I really want. And honestly, both of those ways are really easy. You might find a tattoo artist who says, call the shop and make an appointment with me, call the shop and make an appointment with my assistant. I just got an ask either on one of my videos or on Tumblr that was like, hey, my tattoo artist wants me to call their assistant. It's not that big of a deal. What do I do? And sometimes assistant is just like another name for like a shop person. They might be more than one person's assistant. They might just be that person's personal assistant. Then again, as tattoo artists get bigger and their range gets bigger, or they're traveling a lot, they have other things to do, art projects outside of tattooing, sometimes it's really helpful to have an assistant. Like, if I had an assistant, I think my work schedule would be way more fluid and I could produce so much more stuff. Sometimes when your production goes up, you know, you can spend a little bit more money on having an assistant to keep you organized. I don't think, like the question I think said like, I didn't know this person was so famous, or this person seems really famous now that they have an assistant. I don't think that's daunting at all. I think you should still make the appointment if you want to, especially if the tattoo artist is reaching out and saying, hey, you can make an appointment with me, but make it through the assistant. Maybe that person works their calendar and things like that, answers their phone calls, and who's to say that they're super Hollywood? They might just work at a tattoo shop that has that accommodation, and that's something I really like. When I make appointments with Mark Cross, I don't make them with Mark. I make them with his shop. And there are plenty of times where I'm like, well, can I just ask him? Or like, if I could just email this picture, and then I'm like, you know what, I feel confident in Mark, and if this is the best way he knows how to work, that brings me relief. And now I call so frequently that I feel like they recognize me on the phone, and like that's exciting for me too. It's not because he's like super Hollywood, it's because he has a shop that is organized by a single person, and that's their job title, and it makes the shop work. Not to say that there aren't tattoo artists who are super self-efficient and make everything work for them, but I say don't get scared if somebody has an assistant that you have to talk to first. Sometimes that's easier because you know you're not saying something stupid directly to the artist. And this also goes to cover automated emails. If you've ever emailed somebody and they had an automated email reply to you, I read something on Tumblr that was like, I didn't like this seems artificial, but trust me, it's not. I think it's just a way for people to know, like, hey, I got your email, I'm going to review it. Like, being tattooed by Ashley Love, I have only been tattooed by Ashley Love once in her own shop, and the rest of the times when she was traveling. Every time I reply to this email of hers, I get an automated email. And I think it's really helpful because it narrows down exactly what she needs in an email. So you can email her and be like, I want a tattoo, I don't know how to reply. her automated email replies to you and it says what's your name, your phone number, your budget, what tattoo you're thinking of doing. And after like even a few hours, usually she replies. And I feel like that kind of helps you out and it narrows down exactly what she needs to know for you to get the tattoo. And that can be really reassuring. So I would say do not get turned off by an automated email. It's put in place to help you. So you know, okay, they got the email. They got a little reply. I didn't spell it wrong. It's all there. So I think the best way to get in touch with these traveling tattoo artists, say you found them, you love them, they're traveling, they're coming to your country, they're coming to your state. I think a lot of tattoo artists will travel by going to another tattoo shop. So again, follow your favorite tattoo shops because you never know. And a lot of times tattoo artists will come because of conventions. Conventions are the best way to find a tattoo artist that you cannot normally get a hold of. And I have a video all about conventions Q&A. I try to answer a ton of questions about tattoo conventions. I'll link that video down below and in the cards. But I think getting on top of your favorite tattoo artists for conventions is great. Like I get tattooed by Derek Cooper like once a year because I've never been to Nashville, but I get tattooed by Derek at the convention and when he travels. So following him, I know that he's going to the convention just by following him, and I know when he's coming close by, and that's just the most helpful thing for me. But knowing when the convention is coming, like already I'm like, who cares about Christmas? The tattoo convention is coming. My people are here. Every year I will try and get tattooed by Ashley because I know she comes to the conventions, and I will get tattooed by Derek. So just knowing the convention is coming is really helpful. But with that, there's also doing your research and finding out which convention is closest to you. I'm not super familiar with conventions in other countries. I do read people's posts about them, and I figure they come to major cities. I'm really grateful that I live in Philadelphia, which has a huge conventions hall. It's like, I don't even know how many blocks. It's huge. I talked to somebody who said Philadelphia Tattoo Convention was the biggest one that Villain Arts hosted. So I was like, yay. It wasn't even like all tattoo artists. There was like a barbershop stand, and like a vape booth. But knowing what major city you live closest to and how to get to it is worth it. The convention in Philadelphia has a 3-day pass. It's also in conjunction with a local hotel. So if you know that you love your tattoo artists, you live in a town where you're like, hey, no tattoo artists ever pass by here, I think it can be really worth the investment to travel to your convention, get a hotel room, explore the major city that it's located in. Most of them are usually located in really awesome cities. I mean, even the Scranton convention, I would go to the Steamtown Mall. But even if you buy the 3-day pass and you spend all 3 days at the convention, if you don't get tattooed or have access to tattoos for the rest of the year, it's really, really worth it. And if this is your passion, if this is your hobby, if this is something you like to do for yourself, it's really worth it. Like, I couldn't see myself like going to Cancun for spring break, but I can definitely see myself going to a tattoo convention, like no doubt. So in that sense that your major city might host a convention, your major city might also host your tattoo artist. For me, I live in Pennsylvania, so it's pretty easy for me to get to New York City. I think most tattoo artists who are traveling from other countries or other parts of the United States, they either go to New York or LA. Like, I don't think there's much of an in-between. Obviously, if you live in the middle of the country, that kind of puts you out because you're like, well, either way, I'm traveling 6 hours. It's true, but like I said, if those are your passions, if that's what you really, really love, it's really worth it. Like, I've talked to tattoo artists who say, like, I have a guy who gets tattooed by me twice a year, and I've been working on his back piece for 3 years. And it's like, he knew that getting into it, and he still loves the tattoo artist and loves to travel and loves to, this specific person worked in New York, so he loved to fly to New York just to see him. If that's your little treat for yourself, like, go ahead. Tattoos don't have to be trivial like that. All the times people are like, oh my God, you were in New York yesterday? What did you do? What did you see? And I'm like, I got tattooed and came home. They're like, why? I'm like, that's what I did. That was the best part. That's why I went to New York. And I think it's like pretty cool that I can go to New York City so frequently and like have an excuse to go. If I didn't have a reason to go, I would get burned out really quick. Like, yeah, I saw Times Square again. So don't ever let anyone trivialize why you're traveling and what you're traveling for, because tattoos can be mementos, they can be little keepsakes, or they can just be like something you do to beautify yourself. If people are flying to LA and Miami for a nose job, I think that you can drive 6 hours to see Ashley Love if you want a really cute tattoo for your whole life. I mean, I traveled like 3 hours to get my earlobe reconstruction, and I'm sure there's like some plastic surgeon in Philadelphia I could have seen, but I knew I wanted to see a specific person and I sought them out. That's why I think seeing a traveling tattoo artist, if that's in your best interest, is totally valid, totally awesome, and I hope some of these tips definitely helped you. Let's see on my list what is on here. Willing to travel to a major city. This can be fun. I love you guys. Leave your questions down below. You guys have been so awesome submitting questions. This week I had another video of mine and I was like, oh wait, I promised I'm a traveling tattoo artist. Check out Jessie Preston. She is so rad. She works in Portland, she works in Montreal, she comes to New York. Somewhere there's a trifecta where you can come in and get tattooed by her. No doubt. No doubt. I love you guys so much, and until next week, definitely stay tuned for everything. I'll leave all the linked videos down below, and I am starting on Vlogmas if that is something you feel. Anyway, definitely subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and bye!